Hi. Hello, everybody. How are you? It's nice to see you. Nice to see you this webinars. And this is the third webinar we're doing at mental health programs through the Calgary city. And I really appreciate it. We can able to do this webinars, teaching to our communities and connected to other community as well. And so glad to do it. And I really appreciated all the speakers and the volunteers and translators and every one of them as making the happening. And so appreciate it. And today is we're doing for the understanding the food levels, understanding what's good for our bodies, and specialist in the Siew Ying. So we're gonna teaching us today, and especially, and we do need to know about the food, some nutrition facts, as well as how to read a level of food marketing. So I really appreciate it, Siew Ying, and I thank you for the Sophia's and translating and the short notice, and you can able to do it. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much other speakers too, and hopefully this is enjoyable and we can learn something about this today. And thank you so much. I'm going to hand it into Siew Ying, and you can introduce yourself as well as at webinar start. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Hi, everybody. My name is Sue. I am a corporate wellness consultant. I worked in health promotion, nutrition, active living, all areas wellness, mental health as well, for my entire career, mostly. I worked in the airline industry for about 10 years. I've worked in oil and gas for 5 years. I've also worked in various health and wellness clinics too. So I put together a presentation for you to help understand reading food labels. I know it's difficult on Zoom to really connect with your audience, but I'll do what I can. And please feel free to put your hand up in Zoom or just speak out and ask questions if you have questions along the way, something is not clear. I have Sophia here as well, and she's going to translate for us, which is great. So I guess we can go ahead and get started. Sophia, did you want to say anything?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'll be translating the presentation for you guys today. And I hope you enjoy this presentation.
Great. So understanding food labels. Food labels are the things, anytime you have a prepackaged food, you see this on the label. You see, I'll put it right in front of me. You guys know this thing right here?
우리는 오늘은 음식상표를에 대해서 이해하는 방법을 들을 건데요. 여기 보면 아무거나 보면 여기 뒤에 라벨에 어떻게 읽는지 한번 배울 거예요.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about these and every single ingredient in there and how and what they mean for you and your body.
여기 라벨 뒤에 보면 다 이렇게 여기에 어떻게 읽고 그거를 어떻게 이제 이해하는지 한번 배울 거예요.
Okay. So we'll talk about how to read those labels, what ingredients in those labels that you want to include in your diet, and which ones you want to minimize. We'll look at some examples as well.
음식 상표를 읽는 법이랑 무엇을 최소화할 것인지, 무엇을 최대화할 것인지, 식품 영양소 자세히 살펴보기 하고 실습 예, 일부 한국 음식 하고 요약을 한번 볼 거예요.
Great, let's get started. So this is a basic nutrition facts label. You would see it on any prepackaged processed foods. And here are some things you want to look out for. The first thing you want to look out for is right underneath the nutrition facts is the serving size. So this is super important because it tells you how much quantity within a package. So this here this is the nutrition information for a serving size, which is 50 grams, but this whole container is 600 grams.
그래서 여기 뒤에 보면 첫 번째 영양 성분표에 정보 특정량의 음식을 기준으로 합니다. 그래서 그 전체 양이 아니라 한 번에 얼만큼을 드셔야 될지 알려주는 겁니다.
And so it's important to know that because this will tell you how much is an accurate reflection in the label. This right here, the daily value, tells you the percent of the each ingredient in relation to how much your body needs in a day.
1일 영양소가 약간 또는 많이 포함되어 있는지 퍼센트로 확인하시면 됩니다.
Okay, perfect. Any questions? Okay. So if you're looking at this daily value, this percentage, if it's 5% or less, it's low. And if it's 20% or more, it's high. Like high value.
여기 별 표시를 보면 만약에 5% 이하면 낮은 거고 20% 이상은 높습니다.
Okay. So in here, I'm going to talk about which ingredients you want to limit in your daily diet and which ingredients you want to maximize. And then after that, I'll go through every line item and explain why. So the items that you typically would like to limit in your diet is your total fat, saturated fat, and trans fat, which is right here. We want to have like not too much of those, as well as cholesterol here for your heart health and sodium.
여기에서 최소화할 거는 총지방, 포화지방, 트랜스지방, 콜레스테롤하고 나트륨이에요.
These are the items that you want to maximize when you are reading the food label and you're looking for quality food. You want a high number for fiber, as well as all your vitamins and minerals right here. Vitamin A, C, calcium, and iron.
무엇을 최대화할 것이면 섬유, 비타민 A, 비타민 C, 칼슘하고 철을 최소화하는 게 낫습니다.
Okay, so now we're going to take a deeper dive into what each of those mean. So if you look back on this here, the first item here is your calories, right here. And calories, sorry.
제일 첫 번째 라인에 보면 저기 딱 칼로리가 써져 있습니다.
It's right here. So calories often get a bad rap, right? People think, oh, this is too many calories, I don't want it. But calories are not bad at all. Calories are simply a measurement of energy. So anytime you break down all of your foods they will all break down into three things: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And 1 gram of carbohydrate and 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories.
원래 사람들은 칼로리가 나쁜 걸로 생각하는데 그건 틀립니다. 칼로리는 특정 음식의 에너지 양입니다. CHO g당 4칼로리가 되고요. 단백질 g당 4칼로리가 되고요. 지방 g당 9칼로리가 됩니다.
So let's talk a little bit about fats, because fats have a very negative connotation. People think fat is bad, but fat is not always bad. We need fat in our diet just like everything else. It's very important. Certain fats, there's 3 types of fats. There are saturated fats, there's trans fats, and there's unsaturated fats.
원래 많은 사람들은 지방이 몸에 안 좋고 안 먹으려고 하는데 솔직히 우리 몸에 다른 것처럼 우리 지방도 필요합니다. 지방은 3가지가 있습니다. 포화지방이 트랜스 지방이 있고요. 불포화 지방이 있고요. 그 다음에 포화 지방이 있습니다.
Yeah, so saturated fats, those are animal fats. They come from animal byproducts in animals. You're talking like chicken or your beef fat, the white stuff, and butter. That's your saturated fats.
포화 지방과 트랜스 지방을 합하여 포화 지방과 트랜스 지방은 동물에서 나오는 지방입니다.
And saturated fats, they are solid at room temperature.
포화 지방은 상온에서 고체이며 주로 동물성 제품과 부산물에서 나옵니다.
So that's the saturated fats. Trans fats are fats that are chemically altered with chemicals to make it another kind of fat put in your processed foods. So these are fake fats, and they're not good fats either. They can't be broken down in your body because they're chemically produced.
트랜스 지방은 인간의 소화 시스템에서 분해될 수 없는 형태로 화학적으로 번영됩니다.
Saturated fats and trans fat together should be about 10% of your daily calories.
포화 지방과 트랜스 지방을 합하여 총 1일 칼로리의 10%를 넘지 않아야 합니다.
The last fat we have is unsaturated fat, plant fats, plant-based fats. These are good fats. We need them for our body. We need them for our hair to be shiny, our skin, our nails. We need them. They also help to transport flavor with food. They are liquid at room temperature, typically, and they come from vegetable oils, nuts, seeds, avocado.
불포화 지방은 모발, 피부, 즉 식물성 기름, 견과류, 씨앗, 아보카도의 건강한 식물성 지방입니다. 우리 몸에 좋은 지방입니다.
Also, there's omegas, and in this picture here, this shows all types of unsaturated fats. These are chia seeds, these are nuts, avocados, olives, olive oil, etc.
여기 사진을 보면 다 불포화 지방입니다.
Yeah, these are all good fats in the picture. So the next item in the nutrition label is cholesterol. So for cholesterol, the recommended daily intake for an average human adult is 300 milligrams. Cholesterol is your heart health. And so you have two types of cholesterol. There's HDL, which is good cholesterol, high density lipoprotein. And there's LDL, which is bad cholesterol, low density lipoprotein. The bad cholesterol you get through your diet, and you can decrease that by having a healthier diet.
여기 콜레스테롤이 두 가지 종류가 있습니다. 여기 HDL이라고 좋은 거고 LDL이라고 안 좋은 겁니다. 여기 좋은 콜레스테롤은 운동을 통해 증가하고 나쁜 거는 식이요법을 통해 감소시키 콜레스테롤을
And some of the foods that contain a lot of cholesterol I listed just some examples here, like liver, eggs, shrimp, seafoods, butter, and cheese. I don't know, cheese.
콜레스테롤이 많은 거는 간, 치즈, 버터, 달걀 노른자하고 새우가 있습니다.
Yeah, so if you have good cholesterol and you go to your doctor and they test your blood and there's no issues with cholesterol, you don't have to worry. But if you have high cholesterol, your doctor says you need to decrease your foods, certain foods, because you have high cholesterol, then these are the types of foods that you want to have less of. That makes sense.
만약에 의사 선생님한테 가서 콜레스테롤을 테스트를 받을 때 만약에 좋으면 다 좋은 거고 근데 나쁜 콜레스테롤이 있으면 자기 음식을 뭐를 먹는지 조절해야 됩니다. 그때 이걸 안 먹으면 도움이 됩니다.
Mm-hmm. And if you have good cholesterol, if you want to increase your cholesterol, your good cholesterol, you can exercise, and that helps increase your HDL cholesterol.
자기 콜레스테롤을 더 좋게 만들려고 하려면 그때 운동을 하면 됩니다.
So does everybody know how cholesterol impacts your arteries? Does anybody know? Okay, or can you ask that question, Sophia?
Yeah, could you repeat it again?
Sure. Does anybody know how cholesterol impacts your arteries?
혹시 여러분 콜레스테롤이 어떻게 자기 동맥을 영향을 끼치는지 아십니까?
Okay. It's kind of hard. Okay, so if you know that in your heart you have arteries that go away from your heart and you have all of these long tubes, right? The cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, it builds up around the edge of your tubes and it makes them less flexible. which makes it very difficult for blood to go through, and your tubes are not, they're more stiff, which is dangerous for your heart.
당신의 심장에는 동맥이 있습니다. 그 나쁜 콜레스테롤이 그 동맥을 이렇게 막습니다. 그때 이제 피가 지나가기 힘들게 만듭니다.
So that's why we try to watch our cholesterol if necessary. The next item in the list is sodium, salt. The recommended daily intake of salt in the day is 1 teaspoon of salt, added salt to your diet in one day. This includes everything, all salts. It includes salts in your salted peanuts. It includes any salt you have in your dinner, in your soup. It includes salt in your chips, in your seaweed, in your ramen. Everything is 2,300 milligrams.
우리가 나트륨은 내부의 전해질 균형을 유지합니다. 우리가 맨날 먹는 거, 뭐 라면인지 김인지 뭐 과자인지 그런 거 다 꼭 소금이 들어 있습니다.
So salt is also there's a lot of salt in processed foods and prepackaged foods. So sorry, go ahead.
No, you can continue.
Sodium maintains the electrolyte balance inside and outside of your cells, so it is important. But if you have high blood pressure, hypertension, and your doctor says you have high blood pressure, then you want to really watch your salt intake.
만약에 고혈압이 있는 경우 염분 섭취를 관철하는 것이 중요합니다.
So some ways to decrease your salt is sometimes people put salt in their food without tasting it first. So the best thing to do is you taste it, your food, and then you add salt if you need it. Use less salt, use more flavors like spices, like garlic or chili, or a little bit of sugar or some sesame oil to make that flavor better without just using salt.
소금을 첨가하기 전에 소금 맛을 줄이는 방법. 소금을 덜 사용하기, 향신료, 향미료를 더 추가하십시오. 마늘, 고추, 설탕, 참기름 같은 거요.
Great. And this is the third very important in health. This is a healthy ingredient. It's called fiber. So there's two types of fiber. There is soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, and both of them are very important in your diet.
섬유가 두 가지 종류가 있습니다. 가용소하고 및 불용소 섬유가 있습니다.
So the first one, the insoluble fiber, it promotes healthy bowel function here. So it helps you go poo. That's insoluble, very important for your large intestine. And the soluble fiber, it reduces the risk of heart disease. That's the soluble fiber. That's also quite important.
불용성은 자기 몸을 많이 도와줍니다. 뭐 화장실 가는 것을 특히 도와주고 그리고 가용성 섬유는 심장 질환을 도와줍니다.
So for average woman, the recommended daily intake of fiber is 25 grams a day. And for the average male, it's 38 grams.
여성의 경우 하루 25g 권장합니다. 하고 남성의 경우는 38g입니다.
So that's actually a lot of fiber. If you look at like one peach, right now it's peach season. One large peach has 3 grams of fiber.
예를 들면 큰 복숭아에는 3g의 섬유질이 들어 있습니다.
And I just added this in here, 1 pack of ramen. Let's say this one here. 1 pack of that is like about 4 grams of fiber.
그리고 막 신라면 같은 거는 한 팩에 한 4g의 섬유질이 들어 있습니다.
And here I've attached, if you want to come back and look at it, is a link to fiber, different fiber ratings in every food. And it's super helpful when you're trying to increase your fiber, especially if you have any like tummy issues or colon issues. It lists all the different foods and how much fiber each of them contain. And a big one is beans. So if you have a lot of beans, that's a ton of fiber for your diet. And apples, let's say, have 2.4 grams. So you can look here to see honeydew only has 1 gram of fiber in a whole cup.
여기 링크를 보면 다른 섬유 등급에 대해서 알려줍니다. 그래서 만약에 자기 섬유를 더 늘리고 싶으면 여기에 다 나옵니다. 특히 콩이 섬유가 엄청 많이 들어 있습니다.
Okay, so that's fiber. The next line in the nutrition label is sugar. So sugar is another one that's a little bit tricky. Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada recommends that you limit your sugar intake to 5 to 10% of your daily intake, preferably 5. If you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, then you wanna limit that even further.
여기 The Heart and Stroke Society of Canada가 추천하는 양은 설탕 섭취량을 하루 섭취량의 5에서 10%를 제한합니다. 그리고 평균 2000칼로리 식단은 매일 25에서 50g의 설탕입니다.
So if you are concerned about your sugar intake, you can always read the ingredients label. So again, in this nutrition label is here, but right on the other side is the, ingredients. So if you look on any prepackaged product, on one side is the nutrition label, on the other side is the ingredients.
여기 설탕 섭취가 걱정된다면 성분 라벨을 읽고 첨가된 설탕이 처음 몇 가지 성분 중 하나로 나열되지 않았는지 확인하십시오.
When you read the ingredients, the first ingredient on the list means that has the most quantity. So if the first or the second ingredient is sugar, that means that this item has a lot of sugar.
재료 라벨을 보면 거기 안에 가장 많은 양이 들어있는 게 제일 높습니다. 그래서 만약에 설탕이 제일 많이 들어있으면 그게 제일 첫 번째로 써져 있을 겁니다.
Yeah, so some other names for sugars are corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, fruit juice concentrate, maltose, dextrose, sucrose, honey, maple syrup. These are all other words for sugar.
첨가당의 다른 이름은 콘시럽, 고가당 콘시럽, 농축갓즙, 메가당, 포도당, 자당, 꿀, 메이플 시럽입니다.
Yeah, so I mean, if you do have to have sugar in your diet, everybody has sugar. The best thing to have is the most natural forms of sugar, so like honey or maple syrup.
설탕은 자연 형태의 설탕이 제일 건강합니다.
Okay. Protein is the next line. On protein, the recommended protein intake is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So for an average person, if they weigh 150 pounds, that's 55 grams of protein a day.
건전 단백질 섭취량은 체중 킬로그램당 0.8g입니다. 평균 150파운드 사람의 68kg가 550g 단백질을 먹는 게 제일 낫습니다.
Protein is very important for your muscles. It's important for your blood cells. It's important for all your tendons and your ligaments, your knees, your joints.
이것은 근육하고 힘줄 그리고 자기의 몸에 엄청 필요하고 좋은 겁니다.
Some examples of foods that have high protein. Was it kongguksu? Soybean noodles, sorry, I didn't say it right. 12 grams per serving. Bulgogi is 16 grams per serving. And then giranmari is 10 grams per serving.
고단백질이 많이 들어있는 음식은 콩국수 1인분에 한 12g이 들어있고 불고기 1인분에 16g이 들어있고 아니면 계란말이 1인분에 10g이 들어있습니다.
Yeah, so those are all really good protein sources. And then we're on to vitamins. So these are the bottom 4 and the nutrition label. There's vitamin A, C, and calcium and iron. So we talk a little bit about why these are important. So vitamin A is good for your eyesight, your skin health, and your immunity, immune function. Some foods that have vitamin A are eggs, orange and yellow vegetables, and fruits, and dark leafy greens.
그래서 첫 번째는 비타민 A입니다. 비타민 A는 피부하고 눈하고 면역 체계에 엄청 건강한 겁니다. 여기 그게 많이 들어있는 거는 계란, 오렌지, 노란색 채소, 그리고 과일입니다.
Vitamin C is also very important for your diet, also for immune function, for your teeth and your gums, and for your blood vessel walls, and it helps with iron absorption.
비타민 C는 자기의 그 면역 기능이랑 자기 치아랑 잇몸이랑 혈액에 대해서 많이 도움이 됩니다.
Yeah, so a lot of times Asian women often have low iron or anemia. And so when you're eating your diet and you need more iron, if you have iron and heme-based proteins with vitamin C, your body can absorb it better.
우리나라에 많은 여자분들은 저철분이 있습니다. 그래서 그거를 이제 더 늘리고 싶으면 비타민 C랑 단백질을 먹는 게 제일 좋습니다.
Yeah. Some foods that have vitamin C, all your citrus fruits, a lot of the peppers, broccoli, berries, all have a lot of good vitamin C.
비타민 C가 함유된 식품은 감귤류, 고추, 브로콜리하고 딸기가 있습니다.
And then the last two items on the food label are calcium and iron. So calcium is good for your bones and your teeth, your nervous system, blood clotting, and you need a lot of calcium in your daily diet. Once you hit about mid-40s, your calcium levels stop, and then from there, it continues to decline. So it's very important in your mid-40s and older to do more exercise to help your bones stay strong, because you can't get
칼슘은 일일마다 1000mg 먹는 게 제일 맞습니다. 칼슘은 뼈와 치아 발달을 해주고요. 신경계 건강, 혈액 응고하고 다 이렇게 도움이 되는데 한 40대가 되면 그때 이제 칼슘이 감소됩니다.
Yeah, so some good calcium examples, of course, are your typical milk, or also like even soy is good calcium in there. Some whole grain breads and your eggs, of course.
칼슘이 많이 들어가 있는 거는 우유, 그리고 두유, 그리고 또 이제 계란에도 많이 들어가 있습니다.
And then the last one is iron. So iron is important. You see males need 8 milligrams a day and females need 18 milligrams a day. Just because with our menstrual cycles, we need more iron. Iron is very important for your red blood cell production, which is very important for your overall health. And some examples of iron are obviously your meats, also legumes, and then eggs.
남성은 1일마다 8mg가 필요하고요. 여성은 1일마다 18mg이 필요합니다. 왜냐면 여성은 이제 생리를 하니까 더 필요하게 됩니다.
Yeah. And then to increase that iron absorption in the female body, it's always good to have it, to pair it with vitamin C.
이제 여자들도 그 철을 이제 더 높이고 싶을 땐 비타민 C랑 먹는 게 제일 맞습니다.
Oh, oopsies. Sorry. That's my calendar. Okay, so let's practice. This is a food label for the Shu ramen black noodle soup. I hope, is anyone familiar with this? Have you guys seen this one before? Good, it's yummy. Okay, so I took a picture of the label so that you guys can see it here. It looks like for one package, right? Just for one person. But this, if you look at the serving size right here, all of these nutrition facts are for half a bag, half a package.
여기 이제 신라면 블랙을 보면, 여기 음식 상표를 보면 우리가 아까 전에 다 이렇게 배운 거에 대해서 여기 쭉 나옵니다. 그 여기를 보면 다 위에 서빙 사이즈가 100 반입니다. 그래서 여기 밑에 다 이렇게 퍼센트가 나오는 거는 반 봉지 단입니다.
So in half a package, if you want to know what's in this whole package, you have to double everything here.
그래서 여기 봉지 안에 얼만큼 들어있는지 알고 싶으면 다 2배를 그거 해야 됩니다.
Yeah, so if you're going to double it, that means that this one package has 560 calories.
그러면 이거를 2배를 하면 이거 봉지 하나에 560칼로리나 됩니다.
And 18 grams of fat.
그리고 18g 지방이.
It also has no cholesterol, which is great, but it has 1,800 milligrams of sodium, which is almost your daily intake, almost 80% of your daily intake.
이거는 18mg 나트륨이 있습니다. 그게 거의 18%에 들어갑니다.
It also has 14 grams of protein, which isn't bad.
단백질이 14g이 들어 있습니다.
A little, not too much sugar, not too much fiber, no vitamins.
섬유도 별로 없고 설탕도 별로 없고 비타민도 거의 없습니다.
But 20% calcium and 20% iron.
근데 20% 칼슘하고 20% 철이 들어 있어요.
Yeah, so if you really like these, that's fine. But maybe something you can do is to decrease the salt. You can just use half the package of seasoning.
이거를 좋아하시는 분은 괜찮지만 만약에 나트륨을 좀 더 줄이고 싶었으면 거기 습을 반만 넣는 게 낫습니다.
Or you can also add an egg, and you can add a bunch of leafy green vegetables, spinach, or any green vegetables, and that will make it a bigger meal. And it will add your protein, and it'll add vitamins and minerals that are missing.
만약에 단백질이랑 미네랄이랑 그런 거 다 더 넣고 싶었으면 거기다 이제 뭐 채소를 넣을 수 있고 아니면 계란을 넣을 수 있습니다.
Any questions? Okay, so I have another example. This is just an ingredient that maybe you guys will use in your cooking. This is oyster sauce. I use this too. So this is oyster sauce, and if you look at the serving size, this is 1 tablespoon.
여기 음식 상표에 보면 여기 서빙 사이즈 하루에 얼만큼을 먹어야 될지 보면 한 테이블스푼밖에 안 됩니다.
Yeah, so 1 tablespoon is not very much, and it obviously it's salty. So 1 tablespoon is 40% of your daily intake of sodium.
이게 이제 소금이 많으니까 이게 한 테이블스푼에 거의 40% 일일 섭취량이 됩니다.
Yeah, so I know that these flavors, oyster sauce, for example, is very good for flavoring your foods, and it's good to have flavor in your food. It just be mindful of the amount of salt and sodium, because you can sometimes, what I do is I decrease my sodium like a little bit at a time so that my family doesn't notice. And your taste buds will get used to like having a little bit less salt in your diet, especially if it's a health concern.
이 한 테이블스푼에 벌써 40%가 되니까 이거 이제 음식의 맛을 내려고 많이 쓰지만 이게 좀 더 낮추고 싶으면 하루하루씩 조금씩 넣으면 자기 입맛에 더 이제 익숙해질 수 있어요.
Yeah, and then also you can also add other flavors like the garlic, a bit of garlic or chili, sesame oil, just to add different flavors and mix it up.
그리고 만약에 이제 다른 맛을 또 넣고 싶으면 마늘 아니면 참기름 막 그런 거를 더 넣을 수 있습니다.
So the last slide here is I added just a slide that I found on healthy Korean foods. And it just talks, what it breaks down is it breaks down the fats, the carbohydrates, and the protein and the calories. So it's good to see. It's good for you guys to look at and see kind of what has a lot of value in protein and good fats and what doesn't. So these are all considered more on the healthy side options.
여기 안에 사진을 보면 다 이렇게 한국 음식이 있는데 그 한국 음식 중에 더 건강한 한국 음식이 들어가 있습니다. 그 딱 위에 보면 여기 지방, 탄수화물, 단백질하고 칼로리가 어떻게 들어가고 그걸 다 이렇게 나옵니다.
There's anything that you recognize in there. So that's kind of for you guys to kind of look on through when you have some time, but you have those soybean noodles, kimbap. I'm not sure what that is. And then like the glass noodles, a lot of the bulgogi here, the galbi tang, the fish soup. So have a look at that and you can see kind of what each ingredient is. You're looking for something that has a good amount of protein for your muscles. The carbs can be kind of like middle level. And of course, a little bit of fat is good for flavor and not all fat is bad. So just a quick summary. When you're looking at your food labels, you want to limit the fat, cholesterol, and sodium.
이제 한 요약을 보면 한계할 거는 지방, 콜레스테롤하고 나트륨이 있습니다.
You want to maximize, increase the fiber, the vitamin A and C, calcium, and iron.
최대화하고 싶은 것은 식이섬유, 비타민 A, 비타민 C, 칼슘하고 철분이 있습니다.
Remember that the serving size is not, and the nutrition label is not for the whole package. It's just for a small amount indicated in the serving size.
음식 상표가 1의 제공량이라는 걸 기억해 주세요.
Yeah, and so the percent daily value you're looking at is a very quick look in terms of what has a lot of a nutrient or a little of a nutrient. Look at the 5%, less than 5, or the greater than 20.
여기 1의 가치 프로를 보면 다 1의 제공량에 대해서 표시되어 있는 겁니다.
And you know, if you have foods that you really love that may be not so healthy, that's okay. Just have them in moderation, and also add fruits and vegetables in your daily diet, and you should be okay.
만약에 자기가 좋아하는 음식이 있는데 너무 건강하지 않으면 괜찮습니다. 그거를 그냥 절제하고 거기에다 또 이제 건강한 거를 더 먹으면 됩니다.
And then earlier I said, like for an example, if you're having ramen, add 2 cups of greens and an egg for added vitamins, minerals, and protein.
아까 전에 얘기한 것듯이 라면을 먹을 경우면 비타민, 미네랄, 섬유질하고 단백질을 추가하려면 채소 2컵과 2컵의 채소하고 달걀을 추가하는 게 좋습니다.
And that is everything. That's my presentation. Any questions?
질문 있으면 물어보세요.
Thank you, Sue. There are 2 questions in the chat. Sophia, would you be able to convey those?
In the chat, sure, I can.
Let's see.
Here it is. Okay. There are no open questions for me.
No, in chat.
I see it. I'll read the question, Sophia, then you can translate if you would like. Okay. The question is there any ingredient that is good for us, but usually missing from the processed food? Is there any ingredient that is good for us, but usually missing from processed food? Oh, sorry. Okay, so you're asking if there's any ingredients that are not on this label that are good for us? Is that right?
Right.
Definitely. Processed foods highlights the ingredients that it highlights the core ingredients, but when you're choosing food in general, you choose mostly whole foods, not processed foods. Is always going to be healthier. Anytime there's a nutrition label, anytime there's like a fats label on this thing, that means it's processed to some extent. and that is not as healthy as eating straight up. So an example I say is if you have a granola bar, that's very processed. Something healthier would be like maybe like oats or oatmeal, right? Because it doesn't have all the added sugar, all the added salt, all the chocolate chips and all of that. So anytime you're eating your food, you want to have it in its most whole state. If you're eating an apple, that's the healthiest. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. 그래서 질문이 우리 몸에 좋지만 일반적으로 가공식품에 없는 성분이 있습니까?가 물어봤습니다. 그리고 답은 당연합니다. 이제 처리된 음식은 소금이랑 그리고 지방이랑 그런 게 더 많이 들어갔습니다. 그래서 이제 그리고 이 처리된 음식들은 핵심 성분을 강조합니다. 그 말은 우리가 만약에 그래놀라 바를 먹게 되면 그거는 설탕이 더 들어가 있어가지고 만약에 기리를 그냥 쭉 먹는 것보다 덜 건강합니다.
Another question. Sorry, I didn't see your comment to make the screen bigger. My apologies. Another question. What is your opinion on canned food versus natural food? So again, the natural foods are going to be the most healthy, but when you don't have access to, like sometimes canned beans, for example, they're good too. The problem, the one thing about canned foods is often they have to add sodium or preservatives in order to keep it fresh, so it doesn't spoil. So you're sometimes also eating that.
질문이 통조림 식품 대 자연 식품에 대한 기하의 의견을 무엇입니까? 그래서 만약에 그 통 안에 들어있는 뭐 콩이든지 아니면 뭐 다른 것은 좋지만 원래 그 통에 들어간 음식들은 또 거기에 나트륨이 들어가고 다른 그 음식이 썩지 않도록 도와주는 게 다 들어가가지고 어쩔 때는 안 좋을 수도 있습니다.
So fresh is always best, but convenience is king. So if you can't get it fresh, it's better to have canned, let's say vegetables or canned something instead of not having it at all.
신선한 것은 항상 최고인데 편의성 만약에 시간이 많지 않고 아니면 뭐를 이렇게 다 이렇게 싱싱하게 만들 재료를 할 수 없을 때는 꼭 통 안에 통조림 같은 것을 쓰는 게 제일 좋습니다.
Any other questions?
I think we're good. Anna,
Yes.
would you like to conclude?
Well, it's thank you so much, Swin, and thank you so much, Sophia. It's nice to know about you guys done a good job, and I learned a few things too, but sometimes it concerns what's the best way in fresh food is eating, and that another issue too, right? And how we can wash it and all those things. But that's another time maybe we can learn from you. But we learn a lot of things. I learn a lot of things. I hope everybody same way. And thank you so much and your time and effort. I think at this time we're going to thank you for the City of Calgary, and they sponsor us. We can able to do this webinar, and hopefully we do some more stuff. I just noticed that you cannot see me. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you so much, and hopefully we has continues to connect to work, and we can be healthier and the better life. Thank you, Sue and Sophia, and thank you so much for the Farah. You've done a good job in this webinar, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope that everybody learned a little bit of something.
Yeah.